chock full of talent, aren't they? The AFL Nepo baby. Those words have lit a fire in the AFL community. They have rocked the AFL world, to take a few words from the AFL media who love to dramatise everything. But it's true. What Ross Lyons said pre-game in round 11 in the lead-up to St Kilda taking on the Gold Coast Suns has completely stolen the headlines for the last 3 days. It's Wednesday. We're still talking about it. Headlines like, load of shit inside 7-year AFL spat going nuclear amid fears draft being destroyed. Ross was right to send message. He just had the wrong target. I don't care for his opinion anymore. Sun fires back at ex-coach. Offensive, Suns boss lashes Nepo baby sledge. Embarrassing, ex-Suns chairman Tony Cochrane slams Ross Lyons' Nepo baby jab in epic tirade. Had 13,000 here. Dimmer claps back at Lyons' Nepo baby jab. Rewalt defends Lyons' Gold Coast jab. Bristles at suggestion Saints are being babied by the AFL too. Don't care for his opinion. Gold Coast defender Sam Collins fires back. Saints AFL fear as war of words explodes over Nepo baby jab. Plot thickens as full extent of St Kilda and Gold Coast feud emerges after Ross Lyons' comments. Seething Suns hit back at Lions' offensive whinge. Incredible. Was Ross right in saying that? Was it the right time? Was it the right thing to say, but the wrong time? I liked it. I didn't mind it. Got no problem with it. It's not out of character for Ross, and it's certainly consistent with what the club has been delivering in the last 12 months. Andrew Bassett kicked it off in the best and fairest. We all know that one. That was well documented. I did a video on that one as well in support of what Andrew Bassett has said. Coincidentally, he received very similar backlash to what Ross Lyon is receiving this week. And months later, in the lead up to this year's draft, and what Brisbane and the like might be able to do in that top 10 again, despite potentially winning a flag, now the conversations are starting to happen. Maybe it's not right. Maybe this needs to be looked at. To me, I think he's telling the truth. I think he said it as it is, and I think people don't like it. I don't think he's using that as an excuse. I don't think he is complaining or whinging. Whinging implies that you're in a denial, delusional state, and you're making up excuses. This is just a fact. Maybe the wording could have been different. Maybe if you're being really picky. But it cut through the way he said it. And here we are talking about it. I don't think it was a cheap shot. I think it was strategic and it completely worked. And it is long overdue. We all are very much aware. We all think it, that the system's broken, but not many people say it. So to Andrew Bassett, to Ross Lyon and the club, I think that's, I applaud you for that. I think that's great. And more clubs need to be supporting St Kilda in this, not making jokes about them, not saying that they're just saying this because we drafted Jack Billings and Paddy McCartan and the fact we get 26 million in AFL funding despite, Carlton getting 21 million, who are one of the biggest clubs in the land. I mean, every club gets upwards of 16 million from the AFL. Who cares if it's 26, 25, 24 or 20? It's still a lot of money, and that's just the AFL supporting it. But who gets the most? I think we know the answer to that one. We know that the AFL is very, very focused on the Northern Academies. We know that it is, in a way, a system to manufacture competitiveness, to get them up and about, to get them where they are now. Maybe the timing is coincidental to their form, but we do know, again, that this is consistent with what the club has been doing for so long, and this is the first time we've played the Suns, so there's no coincidence that we lit a fire when we were playing them. I don't think necessarily this was a deflection tactic for our form. I think people are going to talk about our form anyway. I certainly do. But I think this is a separate issue completely, and it's not just to gloss over the fact that we've won one game in 6. I think this is to continue to reaffirm our stance in an unequal world that we live in the AFL space. I think people are forgetting that this can be a good thing, that these conversations need to be had. I think that this forces the AFL to be transparent in this space. For too long, we've kind of just been okay with it. We've kind of just let things roll. And now with the obviously imminent inclusion of the Tassie Devils and what that means for the competition, not just St Kilda. People need to understand that. This isn't just a St Kilda problem. This can stem to every single club in the AFL. When Tasmania come in, watch other clubs get on board and start complaining. We're seeing it ahead of time. We understand that we need to hit the draft and we need to develop talent. But how can you do that when you're getting pick 4, 5, 6, but it's blowing out to 10, 11, 12 because of all of these academy bids? That's not a fair system. That is not a system that ensures that clubs like us are going to be able to draft the players that we want. St Kilda for so long have absolutely copped criticism for decades of just not winning flags, for not developing talent, not drafting the right talent, and not being ballsy enough to just say something, to hit the AFL between the eyes. We've kind of copped it. We've done it for too long. I think this is a perfect opportunity now. And Carl Delena has also backed that up in saying this is just the start. I also think the overreaction, just the reaction from the Gold Coast and alike has been hilarious and almost justifying the fact that maybe what Ross said is true. Sam Collins coming out and saying the last opinion of his that he took from Ross was when he was delisted, so I don't care for his opinion anymore. I mean, great comment. That's genius. I mean, that completely adds to the theatre. Does it really add to the discussion? Does it refute anything that Ross and St Kilda have said in the last week? Absolutely not. If we look at how the 2025 draft might play out in 3 or 4 months' time, this is courtesy of Fox Sports, by the way. Pick 1, West Coast Eagles. Pick 2, West Coast Eagles. Pick 3, Brisbane Lions, who may win the flag. Just keep that in mind, yeah? Daniel Annabelle, he's looking very good. Pick 3, he's looking like at the moment. Then you've got Gold Coast Suns, then Richmond, then Gold Coast Suns. They may finish top 5, right? Then Sydney, then St Kilda at pick 9. We may still finish bottom 5, but you're getting pick 9. Tell me in any sport, in any reality, how a premiership team can get pick 3 that easily, and how Gold Coast might get 2 players before we even pick up a player. And then St Kilda people wonder how we can't pick up midfielders. Because the midfielders are getting picked up before our pick. What do you want from us? And then the one time that we have a player in the top 10, we can't bid on him, and he goes to Hawthorn. I think there's too many examples of the system being broken that it's about time someone's made it a little bit more obvious, and it's about time they've gone public about it. And I'm quite proud to be associated with a club that's willing to do that and not sit on their hands and just watch the world spin. Because 10 years goes down the line, we say nothing, we're still in the same position we are now, we see those teams profiting off that, and we're sitting here as fans saying, why didn't St Kilda just try something? Why didn't they just do something and say something? And now they're doing it. So I put it to you, St Kilda fans, are you happy with the club going down this road, being really aggressive in the forefront of the AFL and other clubs? That it's funny, the president's thing that happened last night, the dinner before the dinner, Caroline Wilson said on Agenda Setters that, that certain presidents are very, they're disgusted, absolutely disgusted by what St Kilda has said in the last week. And she claimed that they were wow, what a surprise. The 4 northern clubs, the Suns, Lions, Giants and Swans, they were all disgusted at what St Kilda did on the weekend. They're angry, and they're even more angry to hear that the AFL could be even tougher on their academy rules. And they've said they're going into next year and potentially father-son draft picks. Wow. Who would have thought that the clubs that are profiting the most off this situation, the clubs that St Kilda is called out, that the AFL need to focus on and tighten up the rules a little bit, who would have thought that they'd be like, hey, we don't like this. St Kilda, what are you doing? We like the way it is. Of course you do. Of course you do. I think these sort of remarks justify everything that the club is doing. So, a bit of a mini rant. I just wanted to get on here and give you my thoughts. I got no problem with it. Obviously, we do need to win games and we do need to improve in our own backyard, but I think that's already a work in progress. But at the same time, our backyard is very much affected by what's happening around us as well. It's not just put up the walls and forget about it. This is This is making sure that the AFL is as level of a playing field as it can possibly be. And I think if anyone thinks it's a level playing field right now, or it can't be improved, I think you're dreaming. I'm just surprised by Saints fans being embarrassed by Ross and Andrew Bassett trying to do something like this, trying to be aggressive. We're the small kid in the corner in the classroom, and we're actually deciding to turn around and say, hey, this is bullshit. How can that be seen in a way that's whinging? I mean, Ross hasn't said anything really since that comment. That's hilarious. We've heard so much from Gold Coast, heard so much from the AFL. Ross has just said those 7 words or whatever it is, and he's walked away from it. Wasn't really mentioned in his presser at all. It's funny. Why don't we get St Kilda to say more about it, and then we'll see who's right. Let's flog Gold Coast. Let's get them on every radio show. Let's get the AFL to talk about how, the Gold Coast are angry and not why maybe St Kilda might be frustrated about it. The only, I think, expert on TV that I've seen has said anything about it is Matthew Lloyd. And he said there's no doubt that it would concern a lot of clubs what the Gold Coast Suns are getting with the academies and the juggernaut that's coming. Does Ross Lyon have a point in this stoush for the Suns, or is it all deflection? And a lot of people tend to agree with what Lloyd has said and what Ross has said. You read the comments, and it's not Gold Coast or Brisbane Lions fans, and you get a lot of people that understand where we're coming from. It's not just academy access. They get those kids for a discount while trading down the order to retain extra first-round picks every year. Anderson wasn't even an academy player, but they got him at pick 2. It's an absolute joke. Year after year, Saints have moved down the draft order to make way for Gold Coast's compensation picks. Saints would have had pick 3 in the year Rankin was drafted, but we slid down to 4 and we drafted Max King. Melbourne secured a compensation pick in a year Saints had pick 2, which slid down to 3. Our academy selections, anyone could have picked, and the year we had an academy player, as I mentioned before, in the top 10, the rule was that Saints couldn't select him. So, of course, we're going to be frustrated about this. So, put it in the comments, Sainers and AFL World. Let me know how you're feeling about it. I'm absolutely going to be expecting some comments saying, Jake, pull your head in, you're complaining. Maybe just win flags, and that's just a dumb argument. Actually, give me a real argument. Give me a real rebuttal as to why Ross is wrong. That's all I'm asking. Just tell me why what he said is wrong. Don't tell me the timing and, maybe it's not professional. Don't give me any of that. I just want to know, was it fact or was it fiction? Thanks very much. Go, you mighty Sainers.